about is you talking about Beyonce. I don't like when people talk about Beyonce. We're not gonna do that. You don't.
We're talking about the Carters. Yes, Jay-Z and Beyonce, an allegation so explosive, so scandalous, that you might need to pick your jaw up off the floor by the time we're done here. So let's not waste any time. Hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because this is the tea that keeps on. Ray J exposes Beyonce sleeping with him before Jay-Z. He has photos, spilling so boom. Ray J, yes, that Ray J comes out of nowhere and drops an absolute bomb. He's out here claiming that he was used, and when I say used, I mean used, baby, by none other than Jay-Z and Beyonce as their, and I quote, freak-off slave. Let that marinate for a second. Ray J is alleging that he and Beyonce, pause for effect, had an intimate relationship, not just a friendship, not just industry colleagues. We're talking intimate, y'all. And if that wasn't enough to make you choke on your drink, there are supposedly tapes. Yes, tapes of Ray J and Beyonce together, and they're allegedly being auctioned off as we speak. And guess who's supposedly one of the top bidders? TMZ. The same people who report the news might be buying the news. You cannot make this up. Now, just when you think it can't get any crazier, Rihanna's ex-publicist Jonathan Hay slides into the conversation like, oh, you thought that was bad? Let me tell you what really went down. Jonathan Hay comes out and says, brace yourselves, that Jay-Z allegedly forced Ray J to sleep with Beyonce while Jay-Z watched, and not just watched, honey. He claims Jay was touching himself while this was happening. Now, where have we heard this before? Oh, that's right. These are the exact same allegations that came out about Diddy and Cassie. The parallels? They're paralleling, boo. So now we're sitting here like, is this a pattern? Is this what these powerful men in the industry do? What is going on? Here's where it gets messy, because Ray J wasn't always out here spilling tea. In fact, he was doing the opposite. He was out here defending Jay-Z and Beyonce when Jaguar Wright came forward with her allegations. You remember Jaguar, right? She claimed that J and Bey were involved in Diddy's illicit dealings, that they were into satanic rituals, all types of dark, twisted stuff. And Ray J, he was out here like, nah, that's not true. Leave them alone. And he did this before the Carters sent legal threats to Jaguar and Piers Morgan. Ray J was riding for them hard.
Here you disrespect Jay-Z and Beyonce. Jay-Z is an OG. Don't ever disrespect Beyonce, because now that you lying on me, and I know for sure that all the you're saying is a lie. Now you wanna go for Beyonce. Beyonce has never done nothing to nobody. I haven't seen Beyonce make one mistake. And you know what? That's somebody that's really trying to make sure that her image is in the forefront and be a role model for all these young girls and all the people that's inspiring to be like her or to follow down a path like that. That's a path you wanna follow down. Why are you trying to f that up? Why are you lying on Jay-Z and Beyonce?
So why was he so loyal? Why was he so quick to defend them? Maybe Jonathan Hay has the answer. Jonathan Hay comes back around and says, y'all want to know why Ray J was so protective of Beyonce? It's because they had a past. According to Hay, Ray J's loyalty isn't about respect or friendship. It's rooted in their alleged intimate relationship. And now it's all starting to make sense, right? But here's the kicker. Jonathan Hay had previously accused Jay-Z of sleeping with Rihanna when she was underage. But then he retracted it. He took it all back. And people thought, okay, maybe he was lying. But now Jonathan is back saying, everything I said was true. I was silenced. They threatened me.
What I do know for a fact, not alleged, but DJ Khaled is bisexual. And Jay-Z has also participated in bisexual activities.
Would you want to say allegedly? For your safety?
There's no, I would say allegedly if it was allegedly. DJ Khaled, 100%, has been involved in, he's bisexual. I did a show called One Shot, and he was in Miami, and he was open with the guy that he was with. He was gay, and I don't understand what happens there where, because nobody said anything to me like, hey, make sure you don't, go out and say this on record. Make sure you don't say this, da-da-da-da. So it's weird that would still be hidden. That seems like that should be a fact that DJ Khaled, at least in 2016, was definitely bisexual.
Okay, and we're good.
And Jay-Z is without question bisexual.
Okay.
So which is it, Jonathan? Were you lying then, or are you telling the truth now? The people need answers. And it doesn't stop there, boo, because Jonathan Hay is now claiming that Jay-Z is living a double life. He's alleging that Jay is on the DL, the down low, y'all, and that he's been seen out here with a trans woman while he's married to Beyonce. Now, I'm not here to judge anyone's personal life, but if you're out here pretending to be this wholesome, powerful couple while doing all of this behind closed doors, that's messy, that's deceptive, and the people deserve to know.
You know?
Did you personally see Jay-Z with transgender women? You personally?
I have, correct. It was during it was during the tour. It was during the tour with the Mill, DMX, Jay-Z.
The Hard Knock Life.
No, no.
Or maybe a different one.
Yeah, with they had the documentary for it. What was that called? I'll think of it. I'll think of it here in a little bit.
Yeah, it was a documentary, backstage or the
backstage with the mill and all that. I used to work with her, and I definitely. It was unmistakable. You know, in 2024, the trans women are, you know, it can be hard. You know, like a lot of people that, you know, they don't know, but back then it wasn't as advanced, and you could clearly tell, you know, that was a guy.
All right, so now let's talk about these so-called freak-offs. We all heard about Diddy's alleged freak-offs with male escorts, right? Well, Jonathan Hay is claiming that Jay-Z had his own version of these parties. But instead of hiring male escorts, Jay allegedly made men in the industry, men he had power over, men he could control, sleep with Beyonce. And where was Jay during all of this? Allegedly watching, allegedly pleasuring himself, and Ray J, he was supposedly one of the men involved. Can you imagine? This man was allegedly being used as entertainment for Jay-Z's twisted fantasies. If this is true, this is disgusting. This is vile. This is everything we feared about the industry and more.
He is a cuckold, right? He likes to watch Beyonce with other men. Ray J, from what I heard, even before all this happened, was one of the guys that used to smash Beyonce while Jay-Z would watch.
Now let's be real for a second. Jonathan Hay has not provided any proof. No videos, no photos, no audio recordings. It's all allegations at this point, but, and this is a big but, people are starting to connect the dots. They're starting to ask, why was Ray J so loyal? Why did he defend them so hard? And these allegations, they're starting to make sense. So while we don't have receipts yet, the court of public opinion is already buzzing. And once people start asking questions, the truth has a way of coming out.
Tell them who it is. We still trying to find out who was in this PIMP3D tape.
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio. And every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it, but if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a billionaire, man. Whoever it was, they had to kill me, man. I know TMZ would have paid a bank for that one, man. But yeah, it is a tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out. Okay. A lot of people figured out because, you know, people that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little loose, you know, as a Montana goose. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they also know who was having money at the time. So it's not really hard to figure out. But, you know,
just tell us. Just say the name.
But no, the only reason why I won't tell it because Pimp C is not here. So therefore, I'm respecting his wishes. If he wanted to get out, maybe he would have put it out. Maybe he might have had to deal with the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, deep breath, because this next part is heavy. Jonathan Hay is now repeating claims he made years ago, that Jay-Z allegedly transported an underage Rihanna internationally for... We're talking about trafficking. We're talking about a minor. We're talking about federal crimes. He claims that federal agents investigated Jay-Z for trafficking and for having sexual relations with minors. And Rihanna, she supposedly wasn't the only victim. Now, if this is true, and I'm saying if because we need evidence, this is absolutely horrifying. This would mean that one of the most powerful men in music was allegedly preying on young girls. And if he did it once, how many others were there? This is the kind of allegation that should have the feds knocking on doors. This is the kind of allegation that should end careers. But here we are, and Jay-Z is still untouchable. Why is that?
We go meet with Dame Dad. So we go after I leave Java, go to Rock, to the Rock. As soon as I sit down there, Dame Dash opened up his checkbook, cut a check for $1 million. I'm like, whoa. He like, I was like, is this for sure? He was like, no. He said, we want to UGK. I was like, what? He's like, we want to with your boys. That's right. So I immediately picked up the phone and called Pimp C. Because all I was trying to get was 100,000. When Dame cut that $1 million, I called Pimp on the phone like, yo, Pimp, and him and Jamal was in the house. And I could hear a tussle or some type of confrontation, right? And I'm like, calm down, bro. Y'all calm down, Pimp.
I ran up the cable bill.
They was fighting. Okay, they was fighting like hard. And I'm like, Pimp, stop whatever you doing right now. I told you what's going down with Jamal when you moved him up in there. I said, but right now, I got $1 million check for you. All we wanted was 100,000. I was just like, who is that with? I said, with Rockefeller. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm watching Dan with the checkbook. He writing it out. He was like, "Ain't that with over there with Jay-Z?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Man, tell him to take that check and go give it to Tupac Mama, man."
Now let's flip the script for a second, because it's not just Jay-Z allegedly stepping out. There are rumors, persistent rumors, that Beyonce has been with other men behind Jay's back. One of the biggest rumors, rapper Pimp C. There have been whispers for years that Beyonce and Pimp C had something going on. And allegedly there's a tape, and some people believe that tape is connected to Pimp C's mysterious death.
I DJ'd for Mos Def, and we went over to London for some shows, and Destiny's Child was performing there. And I don't know if you know this, and don't tell anybody if you don't, but Mos Def kind of used to mess with Beyonce.
Oh yes, honey. It's about to get dark. Let's talk about Pimp C's death. Officially, he died from an accidental overdose, but DJ Paul from 3 6 Mafia described the scene, and it was, that weird Pimp C's body was found in a symbolic, almost ritualistic position. There was blood. His hands were posed like he was praying. This wasn't just an overdose, y'all. This looked like something sinister.
And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls with impulse control issues.
And just when you thought we covered all the angles, there's another rumor circulating, that Beyonce might be a closeted lesbian. Yes, on the DL herself. There have been whispers about Beyonce's close relationships with certain women, whispers about her being more fluid than the public image she projects. And if Jay-Z is allegedly on the DL and Beyonce is too, then what even is this marriage? Is it a business arrangement? A power move? A carefully constructed image? The people are asking. Now, just when you think we've heard it all, attorney Ariel Mitchell-Kidd comes forward with some new tea. She says a potential client approached her about reinserting themselves into a celebrity tape sale. A tape sale, y'all. And people are speculating that the celebrity in question is Beyonce. If there were tapes with Pimp C, if there were tapes with Ray J, then tapes with other people like Diddy aren't exactly far-fetched, are they? The walls are closing in, honey. And let's not forget DaBaby's bizarre story. He once shared that he attended a private meeting at Diddy's house with Diddy, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. Now, DaBaby didn't elaborate on what happened, but fans are side-eyeing this story hard. What kind of meeting was this? What was discussed? What went down? Because in light of all these allegations, nothing seems innocent anymore.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people, he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know,
right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, 2 of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to.
Right.
Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop the whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was.
So what's the public saying? Honey, they are eating this up. Social. Media is on fire. Many people believe the allegations about Ray J and Beyonce could be true. Some are saying Jay-Z has been Beyonce's handler ever since her father allegedly sold her to him. Yes, sold, like she's property, and Pimp C's death. People are convinced he was killed because he tried to release that Beyonce tape. Conspiracy theories are flying, and honestly, some of them are starting to sound more like facts. Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I need to know what y'all think about this mess. And if you made it this far, go ahead and check out that next video on your screen.